Alright, hopefully I get it this time. This is done this more than once now. This is actually my third try trying to go through this whole thing. The first time was just I couldn't think of what to say. Second time was just it took me 30 minutes just to cover half of what I'll be talking about in this video. So and I need to get a drink of water. Anyways, Romance Dawn, chapters 1 through 7, volume 1 of the manga. Everything's right there for Romance Dawn. And then 1 through 4 for the anime. Now, the reason why I list 1 through 4 instead of 1 through 3 like most sources do, and by the way, if that clock is annoying, I'll deal with that. So I'm just addressing it now. But the reason why I list that as 1 through 4 instead of 1 through 3 like most sources is because the fourth episode is mostly stuff from the first 7 chapters. In fact, mostly from just chapter 1. The story begins with Gold Roger's execution, which kicks off the great age of piracy. And he challenges everyone to find his treasure, the One Piece. And he just comments, all he says that he left his treasure in one place. Now, what that one place is, at this point in the story, we don't know. In Romance Dawn. Which is the whole point of this adventure. And trying to discover where it is. Now, for the purposes of this video, I guess I will be talking just anime, just so I don't confuse anyone, just so I don't go back and forth between manga and anime. Although for the most part, it is pretty much exactly the same. There's only like a couple subtle differences, so I will try to have those differences. And another thing that I'll also have at some point I will have a timeline of all the events in this arc, and depending on how things go, I might have two timelines. I might have a timeline for the arc, and I might have a timeline for the story as a whole. So, for example, with this arc, I will have just a timeline that's everything that's discovered here. And now, if we get to the next arc, I'll include stuff from this arc and stuff that's revealed in the next arc. And it'll just keep building. So I'll have probably two timelines, one for the arc, one for the story up to that point. So, anyways, as I was saying, with this great age of piracy, we after once the series officially begins, we cut to Luffy be brought on board a ship. And he's in a barrel, and this ship is a passenger ship, and it gets raided by a bunch of pirates, led by Iron Club Elvita. And some sources, I think maybe like this manga might list it as Iron Mace Elvita, but in dub anime. It's Iron Club, so Iron Mace, Iron Club. Well, do whatever you want with that. Alvida, uh, pirate crew is about to raid the the passenger ship, as pirates do. So, and here's one thing about Alvida. I don't know if there's mirrors in the world of where she's living at, or if she just flat out destroyed them because of. But anyways, she asks a young pirate named Kobe. Actually, he's not really a pirate. He's he's serving under her, and one of the first things Alvida asks is, "Who is the most beautiful being on the sea?" And Kobe, going along with her ego, says that would be that's Alvida herself, of course. And now you gotta know that he is just bullshitting Alvida right from the get go, because you can't really think that this is um that this person right here is any way beautiful at all. She's first of all, she's got a very fucked up personality. Secondly, she's just not attractive at all, as this image plainly states that I just showed you. So, anyways, they raid the ship, and Kobe meets Luffy. And Luffy tells Kobe that he wants to be king of the pirates, and Kobe is initially shocked by this, as and because king of the pirates means you'll find the One Piece. And Luffy, of course, knows this, and he starts getting annoyed by Kobe's little antics and saying that it's impossible. And after talking for a while, Kobe starts to get inspired by Luffy with his whole desire to be the Pirate King. And Kobe decides to follow his own path. And what Kobe wants to do, he wants to join the Marines. He wants to be a great Marine. While this is going on, Luffy encounters some of Alvida's crew members, or I should say underlings, because I'm not sure if she actually considers them crew members, because she tends to just kick them around and knock them out pretty damn easily without hardly any question. And while we're on that topic, real quick, um, two things about Alvida and Kobe. One, up to this point, Kobe has been spending 2 years under her tutelage, I guess, as you would say. And he was, I guess, on a fishing trip. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Kobe, that was Kobe. I almost forgot what I was, I almost lost my train of thought. And right now, if you're wondering about bounties of some of these characters, like Gold Roger, well, here it is, right here. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, you can't really see it? You got problems seeing it? Well, that's okay. It's probably really tiny, so I'll try to make that bigger at some point. Maybe we'll see. But Albeda's bounty is 5 million. 5 million. So that kind of sounds impressive right now, because after all, Luffy is just getting started, and he currently doesn't have a bounty on himself at all. So, but anyways, Kobe ends up wanting to join the Marines. This, of course, does not make Albeda happy in the least. And and this is all kind of played up a couple times as kind of a gag. I think Luffy either calls her like, "Hey Kobe, who's a fat lady?" And everyone is just dumbstruck by Luffy's just bluntness. So then Kobe ends up working up the courage, and he says what he truly feels, and that he's going to join the Marines, and that he's going to capture Alvida himself when he becomes a great Marine. And of course, that he thinks that she's the ugliest creature on the seas. So Alvida is about to club him, and Luffy respects Kobe's courage, and that's one thing that we learned in this series, as Luffy respects courage. You don't have courage, Luffy's gonna look down on you, and he's probably not gonna be that interested in helping you. But if you can step up for yourself, Luffy will help you. And I mean, if you seriously can't do anything at all, if you're still scared, Luffy will help you. But I'll get to that later, because that's not relevant right now. Because right now, Luffy stretches his arm out as far as he can. I think Oda made a joke in SBS that he could stretch his arm for 72 gum gums. What 72 gum gums means, I don't know. But if I had to take a guess about with how far, it was at least the length of a few ships, because he stretches his arm pretty far, and then he just brings it really fast and punches Alvida right in the gut, and she gets sent flying. Now, during this mess, before she is sent flying, before Luffy and Alvida have their confrontation, is Alvida and her crew initially think that Luffy was like a bounty hunter, and he was could possibly be a bounty hunter known as Zoro. So of course, Luffy is Luffy, and we're about to get into Zoro. Actually, pretty dang soon. In fact, right now. So the thing is, Kobe tags along with Luffy because right now he can't join the Marines because he would be viewed nothing more as a pirate. So he decides to help Luffy and figure out where to meet this Zoro character. Now, Zoro is located over in Shellstown, and the Yotsuba. Oh, and by the way, I believe I forgot to say this, but Albeda's island was the Goat Island. Yeah, Goat Island. So, but anyways, Shellstown, Yotsuba, and Here, Shelltown is controlled by Axe-Hand Morgan, uh, who is a Marine captain. And Zoro is held as captive because he went up against uh, Morgan's son Helmeppo, and I believe I'm not sure, but I think Zoro killed Helmeppo's dog. I can't talk today, but I think I'll just keep that in. And you know what? Fuck it. I'll just leave it in. I'll leave that in too. Zoro's held up and he's promised that he would hang around, be in prison for 30 days. And the deal was if he can withstand 30 days of basically just like no food or nothing, then Helmeppo will release him and let him go. It's been 20 days so far. So there's 10 days left. And Zoro tells him, and during this time, there's this girl, a young girl named Rika. And I'm guessing by her appearance, she's probably like no older than 10. I'm guessing her maximum age is 10 years old. I mean, if her age is actually known, I might actually list it right here on the video while I'm editing. But for now, I'm just gonna say she's about 10 years old because she seems pretty young, but old enough to actually cook some food. And she actually makes 2 rice balls for Zoro to eat, and Helmeppo, being a spoiled brat or the brat that he is, just takes one and criticizes her cooking because she used sugar instead of salt. And Rika believes that she believed that it would taste better if there was sugar instead. Now, honestly, I don't know much about rice balls, because they're like a Japanese thing. But between rice and between sugar and salt, I think a balance of both would be good because that would give it a little flavor. But then again, I don't know anything about making rice balls, so what do I know? In fact, maybe someday I'll try and make one myself once I can get some money. Right now, I'm kind of on a budget, and who knows? That actually sounds pretty cheap. Actually, now that I think about it, but also at that end, it might be more expensive. So, Luffy tries to recruit Zoro, and his attempt here kind of ends with failure. It is later when they're eating, when they're taking a break from all this. Luffy hears Helmeppo saying that he's gonna kill Zoro the next day, and Luffy does not take this sitting down. So he just decks Helmeppo and basically sets in stone that Zoro will be the first person joining his crew. Luffy meets up with Zoro again, who, by the way, Zoro is basically strapped to essentially it's a crucifix. Um, and Luffy makes a deal with Zoro, saying that if he could get his swords, get Zoro's swords back for him, that he will that Zoro will join him. In fact, actually, it's not really much of a deal. It's more like a one-sided decision. So, anyways, Axe-Hand Morgan gets involved at this point now, and we are showing just how corrupted that he is. He is the type of guy who will kill anyone who he views as a traitor. So even if you like they're actually like lifting up a statue of him, and one soldier kind of nicks it against the building because, and you know what? To be fair, I don't know what Morgan was thinking. I mean, judging from the height of the tower and where they were raising it from, I don't know how he would be thinking that it would not get nicked against the building. But, that's just a little nick. But Morgan takes great offense to this, and he views that as an action against him. And he was about to kill this guy, this low level Marine who's probably just any other soldier, just for nicking this statue. But Luffy ends up distracting him with stretching up and getting over there, and basically takes Helmeppo captive. And he uses Helmeppo. He actually uses Helmeppo as a shield because I mean, Luffy might be a good guy, but he's still a pirate. But he's not really seriously doing harm to anybody. I mean, that's not what Luffy does. I mean, Luffy doesn't really kill anybody, which we will discover as the series keeps going. So Luffy locates the swords with Helmeppo's help up to a certain point because with how fast Luffy's running around, Helmeppo gets banged up and gets knocked out. So at first, Luffy didn't really realize that the swords that he found, all three of them were Zoro's, but he just grabs them all anyways. And this is where Zoro just tells him that that he uses the three sword style, Santoryu, which San means three. And Toryu, well, I'm not really sure what that part means, but I never really done much research into that part, honestly. I probably should have. But, anyways, Zoro gets freed, and between Luffy and Zoro, they defeat Morgan and and Helmeppo, who at this point Helmeppo has Kobe at gunpoint. After this, the rest of the Marines and the lieutenant, which looks like he died from one of Morgan's little fits, they take the Marines actually arrest Morgan for his behavior against them. and they actually thank Luffy and Zoro, but at the same time, Luffy and Zoro are pirates, so they are asked to leave. And this is where Kobe also gets his big moment. Uh, Luffy actually reveals everything that Kobe had been through under Elvita. So as Luffy is telling the lieutenant of Kobe's past with Elvita that he spent 2 years under her little tutelage or whatever, Kobe strikes out against Luffy, and then the two kind of have a fight. But it is soon revealed that the fight was just for show on Luffy's part, just to show the Marines that he is that Kobe's not part of Luffy's crew. And it's just him and Zoro. As Luffy and Zoro begin to leave, and well, actually, you know what? At this point, they've left the building already. Kobe requests that he be made a member of the Marines, and the lieutenant accepts this, and says that the whole thing will not be easy and it'll be hard. And he actually addresses the fact that many Marines have died. So the lieutenant, he's not sugarcoating this, but he takes Kobe in as a new recruit. So both Luffy and Kobe are now on their respective journeys. Luffy's on his journey to become a great pirate. Kobe is, of course, you know what this means? The Marines and pirates are officially enemies. So Kobe and Luffy can no longer be friends publicly from this point on. But, you know, as one last sign of respect for Luffy and Zoro's efforts to liberate them from Morgan's tyranny, because let's just face it, we got a pirate, Alvita, who was basically a tyrant, and we had Morgan, who was a Marine, who was a tyrant. So there's a thing going on here. So the Marines and Kobe salute Luffy and Zoro, and they all agree not to go to have food for 3 days as for Marine law, because Marine law dictates you cannot salute pirates, but here they are saluting pirates. So they all agree to that punishment. No food for 3 days. We don't actually see that happen, but, you know, I would actually be kind of curious about that. What the next 3 days after this would be like for them. So then, this is where the anime does something different than the manga. While Luffy and Zoro are back at sea on their little dinghy, I guess it's a dinghy. Luffy's hat gets blown off his head. This hat, and I guess the way the anime does this, because they didn't do it the same way as the manga, because this gets treated as a flashback. In the manga, it was not. But since the anime skipped this, I guess this is the only way to do it. So Luffy sees his Straw Hat get blown away, and Zoro catches it. Now, I actually watched this with a friend once. He actually criticized that why didn't Luffy just stretch his arm out and grab it if it was that important to him. Well, this is dramatic effect. And if all he did was stretch out his arm and quickly grab it, we wouldn't have a moment that we need to to show Luffy's past. And now this cuts to 10 years earlier, where Luffy is at this bar called Party's Bar, who is basically run by this girl named Makino. And in this bar, Luffy meets Shanks, red hair Shanks, who is wearing the same hat that Luffy always wears. So Luffy says to Shanks that he's going to become a pirate one day, and Shanks just, since Luffy at this point in time, Luffy's only 7 years old, and Shanks is 27. Yeah. So we actually get, we are introduced to the whole red hair pirates. We get to meet Yasop, who his name is not actually stated. It's not actually stated in this arc or in this flashback. But his name is written all over his headband. I think Yasop is wearing a headband. I can't remember. And we get Ben Beckman, who is the first mate. And Ben Beckman has his own little thing where he's usually just smoking. I think he's got like a ponytail. I believe a small one. And Lucky Roo, who always has a slab of meat, like a leg of meat, and is always munching on that. So I guess he has an endless supply of meat, which that would probably make Luffy envious, because of what we'll learn about Luffy. So they actually kind of tease Luffy a little bit, because Luffy's just a kid, and they don't really take him seriously to be being a pirate, because Shanks actually, as a little joke, hands him a glass, and he says, "Here, Luffy, have some orange juice." And Luffy, all happy, says, "Thanks, Shanks," and just starts drinking. And Shanks and the whole red hair pirates just laugh at Luffy, and saying that they never known a pirate that drinks juice, because, you know, and this is where I will address this. I guess in Japan, it is a thing that where only kids drink juice. I don't know if adults never drink juice. I mean, yeah, I guess juice is kind of sweet or whatever, but I can't imagine adults never drinking it. I mean, even here where I live, it's not that popular, but adults occasionally drink it. Heck, honestly, I drink it myself. I mean, it's a lot better than some of the alternatives. I mean, I'm not a tea guy or a coffee guy. I'm just not. But anyways, enough about me. On to the actual series. I should probably end this pretty soon. Because I'd be going for like 40 minutes to see how much I can cut this down. So, anyways, one guy, a bandit. I should stop saying guy because these guys are. I did it again. These people are bandits. They, well, I guess it's not wrong to say that it's a guy. I mean, it's a person. But these bandits break right into a party's bar, which I don't know why it's called party's bar. I mean, I guess I guess it's because Shanks is having a party. Whatever. And oh, by the way, in the manga, I forgot that this. It's not really stated in the anime, but in the manga, it does say like 1 year. Here, just 1 year ago, a pirate ship made the village its base. So I guess Shanks has been on in Luffy's village for a year at this point. So, as I was saying, the bandits. They come in and they basically demand about 10 barrels of booze, and Makino, the bartender, says that she's all out of booze, and that Shanks's crew are currently all drinking what she had left. And Shanks actually does the respectful thing here. He actually apologizes to Higuma, who is the leader of these bandits, and offers him his last bottle, which has not been opened. Now, Higuma rudely just breaks it over Shanks' head and basically wrecks the place, and commenting that Higuma is himself his own bounty is 8 million. And if you're wondering about like what Shanks' bounty is, since he's a pirate, I will also have that right here, just like with Rogers. And I guess again, you can't see it. Well, I will assure you, it is bigger than Higuma's, and so is Rogers. Rogers and Shanks' bounties are higher than Alvida's and Higuma's. Alvida had 5 million. Higuma has 8 million. So total bounties in this arc is 13 million. But that's not going to really matter for Higuma much longer because, well, before I get into that, in fact, before Higuma even shows up, Luffy eats his fruit that was in a chest next to him, and Shanks told him that he just ate the gum fruit and that he will no longer be able to swim. Now, what the gum fruit did, as I mentioned before, it allows him to stretch his body like rubber. So, I don't know why Shanks had it out in the open, but I guess if he didn't have it open in the open for Luffy to eat so casually like that, because I'm guessing he probably was going to sell it off, but not anymore. He's not going to sell it because now it's in Luffy's stomach. And the power is, the power not just in his stomach, it's in his whole body. His whole body is now just made of rubber. So you just stretch out his skin, any part. He's always, like when he introduces himself, he always says, "I'm a rubber man." I can't believe I just did that, but I'll keep it in for kicks. Higuma ends up leaving after being angry about not being able to get his booze, and a little bit later, it is shown that Luffy has stuck up for Shanks' crew and says that they're great pirates and they're not losers because Higuma is criticizing him at this point, and Higuma basically takes Luffy captive and is about to kill him. And this is where Shanks steps in and is held at gunpoint by one of Higuma's lackeys. That's what I'm going to call. Yeah. And is held at gunpoint, and Shanks just casually just asks, "You willing to risk your life? Guns are meant for using, not making threats." And so this is where Lucky Roo takes his own gun and kills the guy that had Shanks at gunpoint. And then Beckman proceeds to take out the rest of the bandits. So that just goes to show that these guys are not messing around and that they're not saints, and they made this point very clear. And Higuma tries to get away out to sea with Luffy captive, and after he no longer has a use for him, he throws Luffy out into the ocean, and he is devoured immediately by a sea monster known as Sea King. So, Higuma, 8 million bounty, dead. Dead on introduction. So after Higuma gets devoured, the Sea King is about to do the same thing for Luffy, but Shanks ends up saving him at the cost of his arm, which Luffy's great gets saddened by, and Shanks intimidates the Sea King, and the Sea King just proceeds to retreat. Now, it's kind of funny that the Sea King gets intimidated when the Sea King itself basically just ripped off Shanks' arm, so that goes to show just how badass Shanks is, even without his left arm. So then, story cuts back to the present. After Shanks hands off his hat. Shanks hands off his hat to Luffy because Luffy says that he's going to be a king of the pirates and he's going to have a crew that will surpass the red hairs. And Shanks says, tells him to return the hat to him once Luffy himself had become a great pirate. So then we cut back to the present time, and that is the end of Romance Dawn. Now I'm going to mention one thing that I left out of this whole discussion. In the anime, I did not mention this character's appearance at all, but there was a woman involved um, throughout the entire time of this. From that passenger ship and being at Shell Sound, and this woman basically steals some of Elvida's treasure, I think, and also on Shellstown tries to go after um, a map of the Grand Line, and the map of the Grand Line had already been stolen by another pirate named Buggy, who says, "I have flashily taken that map." Signed, Buggy. Now that part is only anime only. I guess the anime staff want to introduce this woman here, which is Nami, in episode 1. When, I mean, all they would have to do is wait till like the 4th episode, but whatever. Anyways, that is Romance Dawn. I will have the timeline of this series right here. Like I said, oh, and Zoro is 19 years old, by the way. So Zoro's 19, Luffy's 17, and Shanks at the present time, during the flashback, he was 27. So at the present time, he's 37. We don't see him in the present timeline yet. So, anyways, that is my discussion for Romance Dawn. And my next video, I will see you in Orangetown, where we actually get introduced formally to Pirate Buggy. So, anyways, I'll see you guys later. This video has been over 50 minutes of me just talking. Let's see how much I can cut this down. I did not think it would take this long, but I had a parched throat, I guess. But anyways, we'll see you in Orangetown, which is, oh, before I leave, I am now with chapters 7, that makes us at 0.58% of this whole overall story of One Piece. Orangetown covers roughly about the same amount. It's just a little bit longer than Romance Dawn, and Orangetown covers chapters 8 through. I'll have the number right here. I'm like drawing a blank right now for some reason. I think, yeah, it's like, oh yeah, Orangetown chapters 8 through 21. And episodes 5 through 8. And I've already addressed why I consider episode 4 as Romance Dawn. And just a little quickie on episode 4. It does have a little introduction with the Buggy Pirates. So, now, finally, with that, I'll end the video, and I'll see you guys officially, for real this time, in the next video. See you later.